I'm in Lisbon, so just got here today. I'm gonna go out and explore the neighborhood and get some food. My friends are actually at a concert, and so I'll be seeing them tomorrow. So I'm frequently asked exactly what's in my portfolio, and my friends would ask me to share with them the stocks that I buy. So for beginners that are starting to invest, I would really suggest that you keep your portfolio quite conservative. So you might do a third in, again, blue chip stocks that pays you dividends, like your Walmart, Microsoft, Costco, that type of companies. And then a third in, say, ETFs like VOO, QQQ, and then potentially a third in high risk but high returns tech stocks. That would give you a bit of diversification, and it's more conservative, yes, but also means that you are at lesser risk of any downturn from the market. So the way I invest is actually more aggressive. I tend to invest in the tech industry, which is generally higher risk but higher returns. And instead of investing in, say, multiple companies, I tend to invest only in one or two, which means I have a very concentrated position in one or two companies. So again, there's no right or wrong. It's simply two different strategies. One is the more conservative one, where you'll make money based on compounding interest over years. The other is a more aggressive one, where you might make higher returns in a much quicker time frame, but then you may also be liable for a lot more risk. So imagine if you went with the diversified portfolio of the one-third, one-third, one-third rule, you're more likely or not to have a 8 to 12% year-on-year increase in your portfolio. And what you're doing is basically growing your portfolio through compounding interest. So it may say take you 20, 30 years, depending on how much you contribute, and you can grow your portfolio that way. So the ups and downs in the market would affect you a lot less, as with any singular company or industry that would be impacted by certain periods of economic downs. However, if you follow my more aggressive investment, that means you're actually putting yourself into a lot more risk. That said, of course, that also means potentially a lot more returns, as any change in, say, AI or the tech industry, depending on what you invest in, could really impact your portfolio, which effectively means that you have no security or cushion. So if your industry and or your stocks go down, then potentially you may need to wait for it to come back up, because you have no other options, because you have not diversified. So if you decide to take the first approach, which is the more conservative approach by diversifying your portfolio with the one-third, one-third, one-third rule, then you have, say, 500K in your portfolio already, and you decide to contribute no more. So it may take you about 7.5 to 10 years, depending on the growth of the market, of 8 to 12% year on year as an average, to hit that 1 million target mark. Or with strategy 2, which is the more aggressive approach, you put, say, your 500K all into a singular industry and or a couple of companies, if not one high-tech company, then you're expecting a much higher return. This could mean, for example, if you're investing in companies like Nvidia or Palantir, and given their history of more than 100% growth year on year, then you could actually get to your 1 million mark within a year or two. So of course, option 2 sounds great. However, that comes with high risk. So there's no guarantee that those companies will actually increase year on year. And in fact, there's also a high risk, because you're only betting on one company or one industry. So if, say, something was to happen to that company or that industry, you could lose all your money and you have no cushion. Unlike your approach 1, strategy 1, where you have cushions and you've diversified across different companies and industries, you actually have no cushion. So either strategy 1 or 2, my suggestion is that you only invest the amount of money that you're willing to lose. And like everything else in life, there is no guarantee that the stock market will go up or down, or that it will actually be the best timing for when you expect to sell. Fun investing!